Hi, and welcome to Kids Craft with the Eaton Public Library. Today I'm going to show you how to make a lovely bouquet of paper flowers. This project requires 4 sheets of green paper as well as 3 half sheets of colored paper and then 1 large sheet of a color of your choice. So let's go ahead and get started. You'll also need a pair of scissors and some glue or tape. If you picked up the kit from the library, you should have 4 pieces of green paper, 3 strips of colored paper, an entire sheet of colored paper, and a straw. If you don't have the straw, you can use a pencil or something similar. And in addition to this, you're going to want a pair of scissors and either some glue or tape. I recommend tape or a glue stick. To start, you're going to want to take one of your pieces of green paper and your straw or pencil or whatever you're going to roll around, and starting at the corner, make a tight roll out of your paper. This is going to form the stem, there we go, the stem of your flowers. Go ahead and pull the straw or pencil or whatever you're using out and just finish rolling it all the way up. Once you have it done, you're going to want to take a little bit of tape and tape this down, or some glue and glue it down. I'm using some blue tape just so that you can see what I've done. Just go ahead and tape that down, and then we're going to fold the ends down and tape them as well. Or, as I said, use glue. Then set these aside. Next, take one of your strips of colored paper and, using the scissors, cut slits down the piece of paper that go about half to 2/3 of the way across. Go ahead and repeat that all the way down the piece of paper. You want your strips to be ½ an inch to an inch wide. If they're a little bit wider, that's okay. If they're a little bit narrower, that's also okay. The main important thing is that you have a spine running up the length of your paper that is uncut. We're going to be affixing that to the stem of our flower. Once you have your paper cut, you can take your straw or pencil and roll your stripped pieces of paper tightly so that they give you a curl. You want to do all of the pieces of paper all the way up the length of your thing. If you need to, you can, or have the ability to, you can do more than one at a time to save yourself a little bit of time. But my advice is don't rush this part. You want to make sure, you really want these to have a good tight roll. The other thing that you can do is, if you have an adult, just like working with curling ribbon, you can strip the paper, just like you would with a ribbon, into a very tight curl. Just be careful not to cut the paper. You want to keep going with this until you've done the entire piece, just like that. Once you have your your paper all curled, go ahead and take your stem, and we're going to start at one end of the stem. We're going to tape the flowers in place. We want them to be pointed at an angle so that we can wrap them diagonally around the stem. So I'll just go ahead and do that. There we go. If you want to, you can do the other 2 of these and finish off both of your flowers to this point. The next thing we want to do after we do our flower is we're going to take the fourth green piece of paper and cut it down into 3 equal strips. So I just simply cut across the paper. This is the short way. You give me 3 roughly equal strips. We're going to turn these into the leaves. In order to do that, take the paper, fold it in half, and then fold it in half again, and then at least one more time. If you think your scissors are going to be heavy enough, you can fold it one more time. You want to mark off about 1 finger's width down here at the bottom of the paper. Don't cut in that area. The remainder, we're going to trim into a point. So that when I unfold this, I'm going to have something that looks roughly like blades of grass. If you think it's too wide, you can cut it down. Go ahead and we're going to repeat the curling action that we used earlier, except for we really only want it to be a light curl. So I'm just going to take my pencil and rub it along. You can also coil the coil around the straw or the pencil, or use the scissors as you did with the others, but you want this to be just a light curl. You don't want it to be curling nearly as much as the flowers. There we go. That's good. You can see they're curled, but not excessively. So we're going to take these, we want to put them against our flower with the curl pointed outward. And again, we're going to tape it in place. We want it so the leaves are going to be the tops of the leaves are going to be pushing up against the flowers. We're just going to tape that in place and just simply wrap it around. We're going to wrap the leaves over themselves to hide the bottom of the paper that we used for the flowers. And like I said, if you don't like the way this looks, you can just strip it down, cut it down, and use a shorter piece of paper. And then again, tape this in place. There we go. So now have our flowers, our leaves, and our stem. Go ahead and make 3 of these. Once you have your 3 flowers complete, lay them on top of your final sheet of paper. Then, take the end of the piece of paper and fold it up over the bottom of your flowers. Give that a good crease. And then take the right corner of your paper, fold it up over your flowers, and the left corner of your paper, and fold it up and over your flowers as well. Tape or glue it down, and then decorate your design as you wish. You might want to say Happy Mother's Day, or something similar. And there you have it, your very own bouquet of flowers.